You know what's weird? You can be standing in your kitchen making a beautiful cup of coffee, looking completely fine on the outside, but in your mind, you are in a completely different place. Your mind is back in that conversation that you wish you handled differently earlier in the day. It's back in that decision that you regret 10 or 20 years ago. It's back in that season of life where you know you dropped the ball, where you regret your decisions. It's back in that version of you that you are actually embarrassed about. And your physical body is here, but your brain is basically time traveling. The trap is that it feels productive, like you're processing something, like you're learning, like you're digesting, but half the time you're just replaying the same footage and calling it progress and feeling like you're moving forward. So today, team, we are doing something quite simple. We're stopping the replay and we're replacing it with movement, with momentum, and we're going to do it one question, one step, and then repeat. Timo, welcome back to the Built Resilient podcast. My name is Bart Walsh. I am your coach for today and hopefully a few more episodes. I'm also a fitness expert and a keynote speaker. And this is a show dedicated to leveling up your emotional, physical, and mental health. And if I'm selfish, it's also a show that gives me a way to process things happening in my own life in hopes that they can help you as well. We are in this together. So if you're ready to commit to a stronger body, a stronger mindset, do me a huge favor and follow or subscribe to this show on whatever platform you are listening to it on. Thank you in advance. Now this episode, it follows on from the last one because we touched on this idea right at the end with mindset shift number 5. It's a simple question that pulls you forward when you are stuck in the present. What is the next right choice? And I want to go deeper on it today. I want to go deeper because it's one of the most practical tools I have ever found for people who feel stuck, overwhelmed, behind, or honestly just tired of carrying the past like a backpack full of bricks. And so I want to start today with a bit of honesty. Typical from me, I know. I have been knocked down so many times in my life, more than I would ever care to admit on this podcast. There have been seasons where I've felt lost, and if I'm honest with you, I felt very alone. With all this ambition still built up inside of me somehow, still sitting in my chest. And that feeling is hard to explain unless you've had it too, and I hope you can relate. It's like that you can see the life that you want. It's right there, that you can feel the person that you want to become. And you've got this drive in you to get there, but you don't know how to get there from where you are now. And because you care, you start to overthink, you ruminate. And because you overthink, you freeze. And then you judge yourself for freezing and the cycle begins all over again. Honestly, it can be life-altering and debilitating. And the reason I care about this episode is because I've lived in that loop. I've lived there for far too long. And what changed things for me wasn't a motivational quote or wasn't some big epiphany or divine intervention. Not yet anyway. Maybe one day we'll see. It was learning to stop asking the question that traps you. Not why am I like this? Not how do I fix my entire life? Not what if I mess up again? Not how do I catch up? Those questions, they feel important, they do. They just don't move you. They don't give you any momentum. The question that helped me get back on my feet again and again and again and again, and will continue to do so probably for the rest of my life, was simple. What is the next right choice? Not the perfect choice, not the heroic comeback, the next right choice, the next one, the one that's right in front of you. And here's what I've learned. Those choices, they add up. They stack, they compound in beneficial interest over time. And they take you to places that you didn't even know existed when you were stuck. And there's a funny synchronicity with this idea for me. When I was an actor, I had a go-to monologue. In fact, when you're an actor, you probably have 4 or 5 monologues that you can whip out at the drop of a hat. One modern one classic, one Shakespeare, one Australian, one with a different accent. And this monologue I'm talking about, it was about choice. And I must have been foreshadowing this episode in my entire life somehow. And look, it went something like this. This isn't verbatim. This is just off the top of my head. And it was in a British accent. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put you through that today. Maybe another time. It went something like this. Do you want to know what the difference between a human being and other animals is? It's not opposable digits and it's not the epiglottis. It's choice. A human being can hold its hand in the heat of a flame and willingly choose to keep it there. Every other animal innately reacts. And honestly, I'm not recommending you do that. Please do not hold your hand in the heat of a flame. But the point is powerful. The idea is humans can choose. We can. Even in discomfort, even in mortal fear, even in grief, even in exhaustion. And that means you're never fully trapped because you have choice. Let's dive in to why the past grabs us so hard, why it's such a sticky place in our mind. Because if you're someone who replays things just like me, you aren't broken. We're not. I've said this far too many times on this podcast. You're just human. The brain treats unresolved moments like open tabs on your browser. A conversation that you wish you handled better, a mistake that you made, a moment that you didn't speak up but should have. Your mind goes back because it wants resolution, it wants control, it wants certainty. And the past feels like it offers certainty when you replay it in your head because it's already happened. You can analyze it, you can rehearse different outcomes, you can punish yourself, you can keep it familiar, absolutely. But the future doesn't offer that. The future asks you to step into uncertainty. You can't predict it. So the brain, in an attempt to try and protect you, says, stay here, review, replay, analyze, wait until you feel ready. But if you keep looking backwards, if you keep looking behind you, you will miss the doors that are right in front of you. You miss opportunities. You miss conversations. You miss moments. You miss these small little steps that create the life that you want to be and the person you want to become. You can't build a future while your attention is living in the past. This question is powerful for one reason. It shrinks the problem down to a size your nervous system can actually handle. You're simplifying it. When you're overwhelmed, your brain tries to solve everything all at once. And when it can't, it does nothing. It remains where it is. The next right choice doesn't ask you to fix your entire life. It asks you to move 1 degree in the right direction, 1 half step forward. It replaces chaos with clarity. And it works because it essentially does 3 things. First, it gets you out of judgment. You stop making it about who you are. You make it about what to do next. The second thing is that it brings you back into the present. It's mindfulness in action. We're not talking about yesterday, not the next month, not someday, right here, right now, right in front of you. And the third reason is that it builds momentum. Momentum. That's what we want. And momentum is what most people are actually missing. It's not motivation. Here are 3 relatable situations. The first is when you've messed up. This is where people usually spiral. They miss a workout, they eat like a gremlin after midnight, they snap at someone they love, they waste a day on the couch, and then they think that they need a full reset, a total overhaul of their life. And that's where sabotage can live. Because full resets require energy you just don't have. And so then you delay, you procrastinate. So you repeat what you've done in the past and then you feel even worse. The next right choice is smaller. It might be drink water. It might be go for a walk. It might be actually make a whole food decent meal. Maybe it's send an apology text that you know you need to send. Maybe it's simply go to bed early. It's small, it's right here, and it's right now. And the second situation might be when you get stuck in regret. Regret is heavy because it pretends that it's wisdom. It's not. But replaying something for the 100th time isn't wisdom. It's self-punishment. The next right choice, it interrupts that regret loop. You don't need to solve that regret in your head at 11 p.m. You need to choose what to do tomorrow morning. That's how you can earn self-respect back when the doors are closed, when no one's watching. You do it through action, not rumination. And the third situation might be when you feel behind. When you feel behind your peers at work, when you feel behind the entirety of society because that's all you see on social media. And this one is for the ambitious listener, and I know there's a lot of you out there. I hear from you. If you feel behind, you will be tempted to sprint. You will be tempted to ride the motivation wave. You'll be tempted to make shortcuts, to overwork, to panic, to burn out. But team panic creates sloppy choices. Burnout creates sloppy choices. The next right choice brings you back to steady, back to your foundations. It's not fast. It's not supposed to be. It's not perfect. It's just steady. It's strong. And steady is how you build a life that lasts. If you are a leader in any aspect of your life, this tool is absolute gold. Because leadership is basically choice under pressure. Choice when a lot of people are watching you. When you're stressed, you choose tone. When you're tired, you choose patience. When you're triggered, you choose listening and response. When you don't know what to do, you choose that simple next step and you make that choice actively, not reactively. You don't need to feel fearless to lead well. You need to keep choosing well and doing that consistently. And that's what builds people's trust. People don't need you perfect. They don't need you laden in gold standing on a pedestal. People don't need you perfect. They need you steady. And steadiness is built through these small, right choices made consistently. Team, this is a supremely powerful tool. I'm going to keep saying it for a very long time because it's simple, it's digestible. And from a guy that spent a long time in the fitness industry creating very complex, very evidence-backed programs and giving it to people and then not having them do it, dialing things back to simplicity works because with something that's simple, you can perform it with consistency. And look, if you've been stuck, if you've been staring backwards for a long time, I want you to know that you're not alone. The past has gravity, it has pull. But you don't need to win a war with your past in your head. You just don't. You just need to start moving again. So ask the question, what is the next right choice? And then do it. And then do it again. And then do it again. And then one day you'll look back and realize the life you have now was built by small choices you almost faked yourself out of. Team, my name is Bart Walsh. This is the Built Resilient podcast. I am a speaker, a motivational speaker, a keynote speaker, a health speaker, a resilient speaker. I do a lot of speaking. I speak on a podcast too. I'm a fitness expert and I actually really care about this stuff because the more people I meet through my career and in this world, the more I realize that the problems we have are shared. We just don't really talk about them. And this strategy, this one simple question, above all the things that I've talked about on all the stages, on all the podcasts, this I think is one of the most powerful. And if this episode hit somewhere deep or somewhere nervy for you, I want you to share it with someone. I want you to share it with someone who you know is carrying a heavy past. I want you to share it with them in hopes that you can help them build a better future. And if you want to take one thing into today, I don't want you to fix your whole life. I just want you to choose the next right step. Follow me on all the socials, follow the podcast. I'll see you in the next one. Remember to choose resilience.